Hi, this is Pamela Duncan from Keller Williams Realty Consultants in Roswell, Georgia. You know, it's very important that I explain to you the rhythms of my business, how the real estate industry itself works. I don't know if you're aware, but most realtors spend the majority of their day doing something called prospecting, what we were all taught in real estate school. We have to have a certain number of hours of continuing education to keep our license active, and for almost every realtor across North America, it's the number one thing we're taught. Let me explain how this works, and you may have experienced someone prospecting you. For example, realtors spend a lot of their time cold calling, which is getting on the phone. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, are you wanting to sell your home? I'm sure you've been prospected by people in a number of industries, just getting on the phone and wanting to sell you something. Has that ever happened to you? Well, that's one way many realtors spend their day, cold calling through a directory of people. Another version of that is called door knocking, where you don't call people on the phone but go through a geographic area or a neighborhood, knocking on doors and asking, Mr. and Miss Seller, do you want to sell your home or buy a home? So many realtors will spend several hours each day going through a neighborhood looking for a new client. They also work the for sale by owners. I don't know if you know it, but from time to time, someone will try to sell a home themselves. Although largely ineffective, people often try it. As soon as a seller puts an ad in the newspaper or sticks a sign in the yard, it's like putting blood in the water, and the sharks come from everywhere when that happens. What happens in real estate is when someone sticks a for sale by owner sign in the yard, we've been taught in our real estate training that it's a help wanted sign. We need your help. When they put an ad in the newspaper to sell the home themselves, we think it's a help wanted ad. And realtors across town will start calling on the help wanted ad. And that's how they do their business, calling for sale by owners day after day after day. Then there's another kind of prospecting called expired listings. I don't know if you're aware, maybe you are, but when you sign a listing contract, the terms of the listing contract is about 6 months or a year, depending on the speed of the market. And what happens is that sometimes people are unable to get their home moved during the term they have it listed. Then, when it expires, it shows up as an expired listing on the MLS service, and every morning, many realtors go into their office early to pull up the hot sheets of the expired listings. The realtors get on the phone and start calling these people to ask if they're interested in putting their house back on the market. They spend hours every day doing this. These are the 4 main ways we're trained to prospect for new clients. But there are a whole bunch of other ways, like open houses. I'm sure you've been to an open house yourself. You know, my goal with you is just to explain how this business works so that you can be fully informed. Let me explain to you what an open house is all about. We've been trained to do open houses. Here's the primary reason for an open house. We all know that when we hold an open house, 95% of the time, we're not going to sell that home to anybody walking through. What it does, it makes the seller feel like we're working hard for them because we hold the house open. The second thing it allows, if there are any other sellers in the neighborhood wanting to sell their home, it allows the real estate agent to try to get a listing. The other thing we're looking for is first-time home buyers or buyers at that price point. Those buyers who come through the house, we get a name and a telephone, and if we're able to connect with them, we may be able to sell them a house. But we know that if we do, 95% of the time, it won't be the house that they walk through, but another house that we show them later. That's how the business works. Then people do things like floor time, where they sit in the office and wait for a call to come in, just like in a car dealership. Do you ever go to a car dealership and there are tons of salespeople just waiting for people to come through the door? That's what a lot of real estate salespeople do, just sit and wait for the phone to ring. The next thing they try to do is something we call farming. Maybe someone has farmed you, like sending you a postcard once a month with their picture on it, or a calendar. Then, of course, there's the internet, where agents sit at their desks just waiting for an internet lead to pounce on. You know, there are only so many Mickey Mouses and Donald Ducks out there asking for more information. And how much time can we easily spend on social media, Facebook, YouTube? So, here's why I spend a lot of time talking to you about this, because this thing called prospecting consumes about 75% of what most realtors do on a daily basis. Most of what they do is looking for another client. I'd like to explain right now how I work, why my work is so different, so unique in the industry, and what the massive benefits are to you. Let me explain. First of all, I don't enjoy all these things. I don't enjoy cold calling, door knocking, working with for sale by owners or expired listings who are already angry because their house hasn't sold. I don't like sitting around like a car dealer, waiting for the phone to ring or a person to wander into the office. I don't like chasing internet leads who may want to remain anonymous. It's also not the best use of my time. So here's how I work. I spend no time, effort, nor energy trying to find my next client. None. Instead, what I do is I put my head down and I go to work for my client. Instead of 75% of my time spent prospecting, I take that same 75%, myself and my staff, and I'm able to pour that 75% extra into my client's situation. If we're trying to find you a home, we're out there trying to find the best one for the best price each and every day, because I believe that's in your best interest. That's why you'll work with me, because you want me to have a large amount of time and effort focused on you, my client. And if you want to put your house on the market, we take that 75% and pour it back into your situation to try to get your house sold in the quickest amount of time for the most money and make the process absolutely as smooth as possible. The reason I'm able to do this is because in my business, I've made the commitment to work exclusively by referral. And what that means to you is I don't work with the general public. I only work with those people who the people I'm working with right now or have worked with in the past, they're personal referrals because they are so appreciative of what I've done for them and what I continue to do with them in my after sales program, that they send me referrals on a consistent basis. So here's what I ask of you. All I ask of you is that while I'm working with you, if you're pleased with how I'm taking care of you, I'd like you to refer me to people of comparable quality to yourself. Because you see, as long as my clients send me sufficient referrals, I'm able to put my head down and do a great job for the people I'm currently working with. But if my clients don't send me referrals, I'm forced to do what all the other realtors do. And I don't want to do that. And I don't think that's what you want from me either. So, to find out what I actually do with that 75% more time available for my clients, call me and we'll sit down and we'll talk about your house or your dream house. We'll put that time and that effort to work for you.